This question is called All Girl World. It says, in a primitive society, every couple prefers to have a baby girl. There's a 50% chance that each child they have is a girl, and the genders of their children are mutually independent. If each couple insists on having more children until they get a girl, and once they get a girl, they will stop having more children, what will eventually happen to the fraction of girls in the society? So like if so they can like let's say okay they have a girl, okay they have a girl, and then they can stop, right? They can so they only had um, in this case they only had one girl, right? with prob with probability of one half. Okay, or they can also have a boy with probability of one half, and they can have another boy, another boy, and then a girl, right? In this case, you would assume that since they can have only one girl and stop, or they can have many boys and then have a girl then stop, you would assume that this would lead to a world where there's more boys than girls. Now, that's not true, right? So the answer is the fraction remains the same as regular society, so it's around one half, right? That's because the world where they have one girl and stop, right, is more likely to occur than this outcome, right? So the chance that they have like um, boy, 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 then girl is like uh, one half, one half, one half, one half, right? It's one half to the power of five, which is 1 over 32. So even if they have boy, then girl, right? That led to an outcome where boys and girls will equal, right? So probability of one half is so event one is uh, have a girl then stop. Event two is have one boy and one girl. So this is imbalanced, right? Because you have more girls than boys. This is balanced. And event three is have more boys than girls. And this is again imbalanced. So in this case, right, we already know that it proves to us that this outcome, this event, is a balanced case, a one half case. This case causes imbalance. It causes more girls than boys. This this case, right? So with a high probability, event one is a higher probability, a probability of one half. Okay, probability of one half, you have a case where you have more girls than boys, but you only have one more girl to compare to zero boys. So it's like one addition. So you would think that at event three, you can have many more boys and then a girl, which would really mess up the ratio. However, the probability of having many boys and then a girl is proportionally low, is like also as low. So the more boys you have, the lower the probability of that occurring. So they cancel out. That's what I'm saying. This case where you have one girl then stop causes an imbalance, imbalance one. The case where you have many boys or several boys and then a girl is another imbalance, but you have more boys with a lower probability. So the expected value of how many boys to girls you have is still the same. A high chance of having more girls than boys, right? Or like a lower chance or a very low chance of having many boys and then a girl. So it comes out to be they end up being equal. Preference does not impact population ratios in the society. especially when the probability of either outcome is dependent at and equally likely to occur at 50%. So it's like you have to kind of squint to see it, but when you see it, you understand that it's a trick question, and preference does not impact society's gender ratios.